Welcome to the Deep Dive. We plunge into complex stories, pulling out the key insights for you. Our mission is simple: give you a clear, accessible overview of really intricate moments in history.
And today, we've got quite a journey planned. We're heading back to Ming Dynasty China.
Picture this: an ancient city blanketed in snow, secrets whispered in back rooms, deals made that could decide the fate of an empire.
Exactly. We're unraveling a really dramatic chapter here. It involves the fall of a super powerful, corrupt regime.
But it's not just about politics, is it?
No, not at all. It's all tangled up with an emperor's strange spiritual beliefs, desperate moves by loyal officials, and one man's, well, incredible defiance in the face of power, daring to say what truth really means.
Our main source for this is a detailed historical narrative. It gives us a great chronological view, brings the people and events right to life.
So get ready to see how power, belief, and hidden motives all kind of dance together in some really unexpected ways.
Okay, let's dive in. Where does this story kick off?
We're in Beijing. It's the 12th lunar month, so deep winter. And we're at a place called Ryuexing Restaurant.
Sounds fancy.
It is, and notorious. Peak season means the prices for private rooms, they double. Because this is the place to go if you need a favor from the Yan family. The ruling power clique, basically.
Got it. And who walks in?
Zhang Zhuzheng. Now, he's someone to watch later, becomes a huge reformist leader, but right now he's arriving undercover, cloak and cowl, looking, frankly, annoyed.
Annoyed. Why?
The waiter, the place is partly owned by Yan family cronies, Luo Longwen and Yan Maoqin, see? So the staff, they feel pretty bold. His waiter's demanding multiple tips just for opening doors.
Wow.
Yeah, but Zhang's attendant, his aide, quickly shuts him down. Mentions they're from the Ministry of War. It's a subtle threat, but it works. The waiter backs off fast. Tells you everything about the power dynamics right there.
So who's Zhang Zhuzheng meeting so secretively?
He's meeting Gao Hanwen, a good official, principled, but in serious trouble with the Yan family. Life-threateningly serious. They're targeting his family, now his wife, Yun Yang, and also the wife of another official, Kidazu. The accusations are wild. Taking a courtesan as wife, secretly colluding with Japanese pirates, likely trumped-up charges,
Definitely sounds like it. So Gao Hanwen's expecting the worst.
He is. He figures he's heading straight back to the imperial prison, the Zhao Yu, as they called it. But the most urgent problem, the immediate danger, is Kidazu.
Kidazu, the official whose wife was also targeted.
That's him. He's scheduled to be executed tomorrow, literally the 23rd of the 12th month, by the Northern Imperial Prison authorities.
So time is running out.
Critically, if Kidazu dies, crucial evidence against the Yan family disappears forever. It's incredibly high stakes.
Okay, so the situation looks desperate. What can Gao Hanwen possibly do?
This is where it gets wild. Gao reveals his trump card. He calls it a world-turning item. The Blood Sutras. Jings. What on earth are those? Okay, so these are legendary, two incredibly ancient Taoist texts, the Tao Te Ching and the Nanhua Jing, foundational stuff.
Right, I've heard of the Tao Te Ching.
Exactly. But the legend attached to these copies, they were supposedly written in blood by the mythical Taoist immortal Zhang Sanfeng.
Zhang Sanfeng, the Tai Chi guy.
The very same. Supposedly written when he was 120 years old. Now, whether that's true or not doesn't even matter as much as the belief. Even Emperor Yongle, centuries earlier, searched for these texts and failed. Their symbolic power is just immense.
Wow. So where did these incredible things come from?
Gao's wife, Yun Yang, and Kidazu's wife brought them from Jiangnan, south of the Yangtze. You could just feel the desperation and dedication here.
There's a story about Kidazu's wife, isn't there?
Yeah, a really poignant one. She apparently knelt for hours in the freezing snow outside the prison, just trying to get a final flask of wine to her husband.
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
It is. But Yun Yang finds her, gently persuades her to go home, saying, maybe there's another way. A glimmer of hope.
And that hope is the Blood Sutras.
Precisely. Zhang Zhuzheng sees their potential immediately. He knows the current emperor, Jijing, is deeply into Taoism, obsessed with immortality. So Zhang urgently gets these sutras to Prince Yu, the emperor's son.
Okay, so the sutras are with the prince. What's the next move?
It's strategic. It falls to Prince Yu's consort Li. She's the one who decides to present them to Emperor Jijing.
She must have known the emperor's beliefs well.
Extremely well. She's playing directly into his Taoist obsessions, his desire to live forever. She even adds another touch, a Taoist robe she embroidered herself, with Laozi's 5,000-character scripture on it.
She's pulling out all the stops.
Absolutely. She's not just handing over artifacts. She's aiming right at the emperor's spiritual core. It's a different kind of power play, you see. Not just court politics, but manipulating belief itself.
So how does the emperor react? Does it work?
Oh, it works spectacularly. Jing is utterly captivated. He sees the Blood Sutras as proof, absolute proof, that the immortal Zhang Sanfeng has returned to Earth. He's overcome with joy. Immediately orders a massive search for Zhang Sanfeng.
Incredible. And Consort Lai sees her chance.
Right then. While he's in this state of, well, spiritual ecstasy, she reveals where the sutras came from, connecting them to Kidazu. She pleads for his life, framing it as part of this heavenly sign and subtly linking the Yan family's corruption to blocking this mandate.
And Jiajing.
In his euphoria, he buys it completely. Issues an immediate stay of execution for Kidazu. Just like that.
Wow. A desperate gamble, fueled by ancient texts and belief, actually saved a man's life and potentially shifted the power balance.
It's a stunning example, isn't it? How deeply personal beliefs, even obsessions, could be weaponized in politics. It wasn't about armies this time. It was about knowing the emperor's soul, essentially.
Okay, so Kidazu is saved thanks to this brilliant, maybe slightly deceptive spiritual maneuver, but you just know the Yan family isn't going to take this lying down. What's their counter?
Their counter is incredibly bold and risky. While Emperor Jiajing is still, basking in the glow of finding these divine texts, New Year's Day arrives.
A crucial time for court ceremony.
Exactly. And Yan Song, the head of the family, and his equally corrupt son, Yan Shifan, they orchestrate something audacious. They, along with nearly half the officials in Beijing, deliberately don't submit the customary congratulatory memorials to the emperor.
Whoa, that's basically a public snub, a direct challenge, isn't it?
It's huge. A calculated risk to show their displeasure and maybe test how much influence they still have even after this setback.
And they must have figured out where the Blood Sutras came from.
Oh yeah, their network was good. They'd already started digging. They traced the sutras back to Yunyan, Gao Hanwen's wife, and importantly, her past connection to a deceased merchant named Shen Yushi.
How does that help them?
It gives them an angle. They can now claim the sutras are a fraud, part of some scheme involving Yunyang, potentially implicating Gao Hanwen and, by extension, Prince Yu. Their goal, expose this as a fraud against the emperor.
Clever. How do they plan to get this information to the emperor, though? Especially when he's so happy about the sutras.
Yan Song makes another power play. He approaches Chen Hong. Now, Chen Hong is a very powerful eunuch, and importantly, a major rival to the current chief eunuch, Lu Fang, who, remember, is somewhat aligned with the reformists.
Ah, exploiting internal rivalries.
Precisely. Yan Song promises Chen Hong that if he leaks this damaging information about the sutras to the emperor, Yan will help him oust Lu Fang and take the top spot. Chief eunuch.
So, the reformist group Shuji, Gaogong, Zhang Zhuzheng, they must realize the danger, that the Yan party knows the truth, or at least a version of the truth.
They figured out fast. They know if the Yan family gets their hands on Gao Hanwen or Yunyang, they'll be tortured into confessing anything the Yans want them to confess, likely implicating Prince Yu in this supposed fraud.
So they need to get Gao and Yunyang out of reach.
Exactly. And they come up with this counterintuitive, really quite brilliant plan. They decide to formally impeach Gao Han themselves.
Impeach their own guy.
Yes. But not for the serious, fabricated charges the Yans were pushing. They impeach him for a much lesser, but technically true, offense, taking a courtesan as a wife, Najiweki. It was frowned upon, but not a capital crime.
Okay, I see. So the impeachment is real, but the charge is minor. What does that achieve?
It allows them to control the outcome. The standard punishment for that would be dismissal and banishment back to his hometown. Crucially, this gets Gao out of Beijing and away from the Yan family's immediate grasp, under the reformists' indirect protection.
But getting that specific order through, that requires approval, right?
It requires the chief eunuch, Lu Fang, to affix the imperial seal. Pihong, they called it. This puts Lu Fang in a terrible bind. He's caught between the emperor's unpredictable moods, the Yan faction's pressure via Chen Hong, and his own leanings toward Zhuji and the Prince Yu faction. Everything hangs on his decision.
The tension must have been unbearable. When does this all come to a head?
Midnight. The 15th day of the first lunar month, Zishi. This is the designated hour. Chen Hong, the rival eunuch, is ready. He's expecting the emperor, influenced by the fraud story, to order the arrest of Shuji, Gaogong, and Zhang Zhixing. He's poised to strike. And the twist. Lu Fang appears. But he's not carrying an arrest warrant for the reformists. He announces the emperor's actual decree.
Which is
A total reversal. Yan Shifan, Luo Longwen, and Yan Maoqing, the core of the Yan clique, are to be arrested immediately. The charge, violating heavenly laws. Ji Jing has swung back, perhaps influenced by the Yan's New Year snub, or maybe Lu Fang managed the situation expertly.
Wow. So the
Yeah.
tables turn completely.
Instantly, Zhu Qi, the head of the Imperial Guard, the Qiniwei, leads the arrest party straight to Gao Hanwen's residence where Yan Shifan happens to be.
Gan Shifan is at Gao Hanwen's house. Why?
Probably trying to intimidate or arrest Gao himself before the official order came down, but he's caught flat-footed.
And things get even more dramatic there, right?
Oh yes. Gao Hanwen reveals something shocking. Yun Yang is inside, in a room soaked with oil, surrounded by firewood. She's ready to burn herself alive rather than be captured and used as a pawn against the Emperor or Prince Yu.
Good grief, that's desperate doesn't even cover it.
It shocks everyone, even Yan Shifan. He actually orders water trucks, maybe realizing how bad this looks.
And right in the middle of this chaos,
Zhang Juxiang arrives. He's got the official document, the banishment order for Gao Hanwen, based on the lesser charge. He asserts its validity right in Yan Shifan's face, leading to this incredibly tense standoff between Zhang's guards and Yan Shifan's entourage, who are now technically under arrest themselves.
what a scene. And Zuki, the Imperial Guard commander.
He takes personal satisfaction in arresting Yan Shifan. Turns out, Zhu Qi has a personal vendetta. The Yan family had previously framed and killed another Imperial Guard officer named Shen Lian, who had dared to impeach them.
Huh.
This is revenge for Zhu Qi. He even smashes Yan Shifan's fancy sedan chair right there in the street. Public humiliation.
So Yan Shifan is arrested. What about Gao Hanwen and Yun Yang?
Zhang Yuzheng confronts Gao about Yunyang's suicide pact. He talks them out of it, thankfully. But Gao is hesitant to go back to his hometown. His family had disowned him for marrying Yun Yang in the first place.
So returning isn't safe or desirable.
Right. Zhang Yuzheng realizes this too. He fears the Yan remnants or other enemies might still target them. So he makes a quick change of plans. He arranges for them to secretly travel to Zhejiang province instead, where they'll be under the protection of Tan Lun and other officials aligned with the reformist cause.
A safer haven.
Hopefully. It just shows this intricate web, doesn't it? Alliances, betrayals, personal scores being settled. How a desperate plan, like that minor impeachment charge, actually succeeded against all odds, and how individuals get caught up, becoming pawns or unlikely heroes in this massive imperial game.
Absolutely. The consequences just ripple outwards. Okay, so that's the fall of the Yan clique, at least Yan Shifan. But the problems didn't just vanish, did they?
Not at all. We jump forward 3 years now to 1565. Yan Song, the father, has been forced into retirement. Yan Shifan, the son, has been executed. But the system, still deeply corrupt. Wu Shaojian, the records say, corruption hadn't lessened much at all. Public suffering still widespread, disasters are common. The rot went deeper than just one family.
And into this environment steps a new figure, right?
Yes, Hai Rui. He's been transferred to Beijing, appointed as a mid-level official in the Ministry of Revenue, Hubuzushi.
Hai Rui. He has a reputation, doesn't he? Known for being incredibly upright, maybe inflexibly so.
That's him. Incorruptible.
And observant.
One of the first things he notices in Beijing is a shop sign. The Lubidiju pickled vegetable shop.
Lubiju, why is that significant?
Because the shop's sign, this big plaque, was personally inscribed by Emperor Zhejiang himself, still hanging there very prominently. But the shop, it's almost deserted. The owner is clearly terrified, and people are avoiding it.
Why would people avoid a shop favored by the emperor?
There's history there. Zhejiang had actually renamed the shop. It used to be called Luqingju.
Wuxingju, meaning...
Six Hearts Residence, which, to Jia Jing's Taoist sensibilities, implied disunity, conflicting intentions. Not good. So after the Yan family's downfall, wanting to impose his sense of order and unity, he renamed it Lubiju.
Lubiju. Six Necessities Residence.
Exactly. It symbolized his philosophy, Luhi Tong Tiangxia Yixin. Unification of the six directions, one heart under heaven, is a very public statement about imperial authority and his Taoist vision for the empire after the turmoil.
Okay, so the sign itself is loaded with political and philosophical meaning directly tied to the emperor.
Highly loaded. And this is where Hai Rui makes his move. He sees the deserted shop, he sees the imperial guards and eunuchs from the judicial police watching suspiciously from a nearby tea house or clearly monitoring the place.
And he just walks in.
Bold as anything, walks right in. And he doesn't just buy pickles. He directly asks the terrified owner about the name change. From Luziju to Luijiju, he knows exactly how sensitive this is.
The owner must have been beside himself.
Absolutely petrified. He and his staff try to refuse Hairui's money, just want him to leave. They want no part of questioning the emperor's actions.
Hairui isn't deterred.
Not in the slightest. He ignores the fear, ignores the watchers. He announces his intention is to rectify people's hearts and pacify rumors. Jing Rengsen or Jing Fuyan.
Rectify hearts and pacify rumors. What does he do?
He picks up a writing brush. And right there, he writes down his own interpretation of the Liu Bi, the six necessities.
He redefines the emperor's words.
Effectively, yes. But his definitions are incredibly practical, grounded, almost mundane, focusing entirely on how to run a good pickle shop.
What are they?
Things like 1, the produce must be genuine. 2, the season must be right. 3, the vegetables must be fresh. 4, the sweet sauce must be pure. 5, the containers must be clean. 6, the water source must be fragrant.
That's remarkably down to earth. Nothing about cosmic unity there.
Exactly. It's a subtle but profound critique. He's implicitly contrasting his practical necessities for good governance and honest living with the emperor's lofty, perhaps detached philosophical pronouncements. He then tells the owner, make a new plaque with this inscription. If business doesn't pick up, you can find me at the Ministry of Revenue.
The audacity. What happens next? The guards watching must have reacted.
They are definitely alarmed. This official is openly challenging the emperor's symbolism. Hairui then calmly reveals his full identity. Hubuzushi Hairui. Hairui, Ministry of Revenue official.
And then another twist.
A fantastic one. Who should be nearby, possibly even among the watching guards? Kidazu.
The man saved by the blood sutras.
The very same. He's now risen high in the Imperial Guard, a commander known as Shisang Ye, or 13th Lord. He hears the name Hairui and recognizes him instantly. Hairui had been a local magistrate who had helped Kidazu in the past, possibly even related to the events that led to its imprisonment.
So his benefactor.
Yes. Kidazu is stunned by what Hairui just did. He knows how incredibly dangerous this is. He quickly, subtly intervenes. He instructs the guards who were about to haul Hairui off for questioning, tells them to just escort Hairui directly to his residence, not to the ministry. Then Kidazu rushes off himself, presumably to warn Shuji, the senior grand secretary, about this ticking time bomb Hairui has just set.
It really underscores the power of symbols, doesn't it? How a simple shop sign becomes this battleground for meaning, and the sheer courage it took for Hairui to do that, knowing the risks.
Incredible courage. He's using language, symbolism itself, as his tool to speak truth to power, even in this seemingly small, indirect way.
So Hairui arrives at his new place in Beijing. Modest lodgings, apparently arranged and even secretly subsidized by a concerned friend, Wang Yangji. The landlord, though, is terrified.
Yeah, Hairui's reputation precedes him. But Hairui is calm. He explains his philosophy to Wang Yangji. He says, look, I don't go looking for trouble. But when the nation is sick, someone has to point out the illness. Someone has to speak the truth, whatever the personal cost. That's his driving force.
Meanwhile, what's happening with the emperor, Jia Jing?
He's very ill. Gravely ill, in fact. He's refusing conventional medicine, relying entirely on his Taoist elixirs, searching for that elusive immortality. He's exhausted by state affairs, barely involved, and intensely suspicious of everyone around him, especially those closest to power.
Including Shuji and the chief eunuch Lu Feng?
Yes. They're genuinely concerned about his health, but they're also worn down by his paranoia and unpredictable temper. They're trying desperately to manage the situation, trying to somehow smooth over Hairui's blunder at the shop, mostly to protect Prince Yu, who Hairui is vaguely associated with through the reformist faction.
But Jijin finds out about Hairui's 6 necessities.
Oh, he does. Word gets to him, probably via Chen Hong, the rival eunuch. And Jia Jing, despite his illness, his mind is still sharp. He immediately understands that Hairui's practical list is a direct commentary, maybe even a criticism, of his own imperial decree about the shop sign.
He doesn't just dismiss it.
No. He brings it up with Zhuji and Lu Fan, challenges them. Explain this, Hairui. What are his intentions? They tread very carefully. They suggest Hairui was simply trying to, rectify people's hearts and pacify rumors, echoing Hairui's own stated reason.
Trying to diffuse it.
Exactly. And Jia Jing, he acknowledges the rumors about himself, about his withdrawal and obsessions. He even concedes that Hairui is a man of ability, someone who dared to say something when everyone else is silent or just flatters him.
So he sees some value in it.
Perhaps. But his suspicion is overwhelming. He can't shake the fear that this is part of a larger scheme, that Hairui is a pawn, perhaps put up to this by Prince Yu's faction to subtly criticize him or test his authority. He suspects a hidden agenda.
So he decides to test Hairui. Or maybe test Prince Yu.
He devises an incredibly provocative test, aimed squarely at Prince Yu, but using Hairui's words. It's a masterstroke of paranoid manipulation.
What's the test?
He orders this. Prince Yu, his own son and heir apparent, must personally copy out Hairui's 6 practical necessities for the pickle shop, word for word.
The prince has to copy the words of this mid-level official who just implicitly criticized the emperor.
Yes. And then Prince Yu must sign his own name to it, his princely signature.
Wow.
And it gets better. This text, copied and signed by the prince, is then to be carved onto a new plaque. And that plaque is to be hung up prominently at the Lubiju shop, replacing the emperor's own inscription, effectively.
That is layers upon layers of testing loyalty and intent. It forces the prince to either endorse Hairui's subtle critique or somehow refuse the emperor's command.
Precisely. It puts Prince Yu in an impossible position. And to twist the knife further, Jiajing deliberately bypasses his loyal chief eunuch Lu Fang to deliver this incredibly sensitive order.
Who does he send?
He sends Chen Hong, Lu Fang's rival. The eunuch, allied with the now disgraced Yan family. This fuels their rivalry, keeps everyone off balance, and ensures the order is delivered with maximum potential for trouble.
It's astonishing. Even weak and dying, the emperor's will, his suspicion, dictates everything. It shows how truth, or perceived truth, is just constantly manipulated and tested at the highest levels.
Absolutely. And it highlights the incredible lasting impact of someone like Hairui. Someone who dares to speak an uncomfortable truth, even through something as simple as redefining a shop sign. His actions, intended or not, set off these complex ripples that shape events long after.
So we've really journeyed through an incredible slice of history today. That intricate dance of power, the unexpected ways ancient beliefs could be used, and just the raw courage it takes to stand for what you see as true.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? In a world where truth often feels slippery, easily manipulated, what's it actually mean to have a rectified heart, as Hairui put it? How can one person's commitment to integrity, even in small ways, actually spark change?
Maybe think about the hidden texts or the symbolic signs in our own world. What powerful stories are being told? What narratives are being shaped around us right now?
And what courage might it take sometimes to offer a different interpretation, a different set of necessities, something to ponder.
Definitely. Well, that's all we have time for on this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring.